Hello guys, welcome to Commando Co. I am Gingy, and today I thought I'd show you guys my little exploration vessel. This is the SS Darwin. It has a crew of 4 right now. Captain Sig Hale, I'm just going to say Sig Hale. She is the lead scientist and also the captain of this mission. Jofferner and Goosis, their parents hated him. They're also scientists. And then Berman is of course our pilot. And its mission has 2 objectives. One, drop off this relay dish inside the Julian system so that we can communicate with probes later on. And 2, scout it out and make sure there's no, commies. Duh. I mean, why else would you... Duh. And, those filthy communists, you never know where they're hiding. So yeah, it's equipped with a crap ton of radiators to help with aero braking, and it also has air brakes to also help with air braking. Who would have thought? And yeah, so this is the first mission outside of the second mission outside the Kerbal system for Commando Co. The first one was unmanned, however, so this is the first manned mission outside the Kerbal system. So let me show you the rest of Commando Co. And yeah, it's quite spectacular. Alright guys, so this is what I currently have of Commando Co. The most noticeable thing right off the bat is our deep space relay network. We currently have 5 deep space relay dishes in various orbits and positions throughout the Kerbal system. And I believe the 5th one is currently exiting the system. Oh, check that out. It just barely left Kerbin's SOI. That's quite cool to see. And yeah, so it is, just really its objective is to just provide communications anywhere in the Kerbal system where we're going to need it. And we also have one battleship, the SS Forward Unto Glory, to fight, space communists. And we have Spaceport 777, and I'll go into more detail of what Spaceport 777 or Spaceport 777, what its purpose is in a minute. But yeah, I mentioned we also had another mission that left the Kerbal system, the Eve Lander. This was a ship I sent off pretty early in this playthrough, and yeah, I don't know, it's just really fun. I've never really been to Eve before, and so I just landed it, and it's just a probe. There's no people or anything, and it's just kind of there. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, let me show you Spaceport 777 and then the SS Forward Unto Glory. So this is Spaceport 777. This was actually really fun to launch. I just launched the whole station right here. I just launched it all as one piece because I was like, building space station takes too long and it gets wobbly and it's a pain in the butt. So I decided to just launch it all at once because whatever. I mean, it's more expensive that way, and the executives didn't like that much. They were like, "Oy vey, you're spending too much money." Yeah, shut up, So anyway, yeah, that way it's more sturdy. It serves as communications. It's almost like the airport tower of the entirety of Commando Co. And this is kind of like it's comparable to an airport. This is where your flight overlays are. This is where you can go to maybe even rest at some really high-class airports. I know there's hotel rooms. And you can come here to eat, stock up. Now, refuel, this isn't that good for refueling. This is really just meant to be a place for, crew transfer. So let me explain how that works. So you see this right here. This is meant to travel in between Kerbin and the station. So this can go back to Kerbin, and it can be put on top of a new rocket and sent up. And it can bring a total of 7 Kerbals up to the space station, where then they can be transported onto this taxi. Now this orbital taxi, as I call it, can move in between the station and various battleships to move crew around. And so far the system works very well. It's a lot safer than just launching the crew with the battleship. It's a little bit more expensive, but considering how valuable these crew members are, it's a lot better for me this way if I just move them to the station first. It's a lot safer. There's less of a chance of something going wrong. And if something does go wrong, it's not as bad as if I just launched it all at once. So, yeah, it also has the orbital defense craft. This is meant to sort of defend Spaceport 777, like I said, from communists. And it currently has 4 kinetic torpedoes powered by the Separatrons. What happens is that the I-beam will shatter, and then the Separatrons will go inside of a ship and wreak havoc. Now, they're really only effective if they hit in between cracks of armor, but if they do, it's awesome. It's quite a fun thing to watch. We also have these guided missiles, which they're also not that powerful. However, if you get behind armor plating again, these things can also cause a lot of damage. And if they do hit armor plating, they are most likely to just completely disintegrate that piece of armor plating, opening that part up to further attack. It's also extremely long range. I can hit things up to 10 kilometers away reliably with the amount of fuel that's on here. So, yeah, that's the station. It also has a permanent crew of about 4 Kerbals. And this way, I also don't have to park battleships with the space station because that would just be way too much. Way too many parts in one place to handle, and it'd be chaos. So, yeah, so that's Spaceport 777. Now let me show you Commando Co's only operational battleship, although it is extremely powerful and extremely impressive. At least, by my standards. Alright guys, this is my only battleship right now in orbit to defend me from the commies. But this is the SS Forward Unto Glory. It is currently the biggest ship I have ever made. And at 400 parts, because I mean I'm capable of making things bigger, but I don't really want to because I like my computer not on fire. And it has 2 different types of weapons on board. It has 4 solid fuel propelled projectiles in the primary cannon right here. It's a huge capacity. However, they are very short range. I'm not gonna use them, anywhere outside of 600 meters. It also has, however, very long-range smart torpedoes that are RCS guided, like we saw in the last craft, the orbital defense craft. And yeah, it has 10 of those, and they can all be reloaded. I can refit these however I want. They are connected by a docking port, so I can basically do whatever I want with it. It has a massive crew. I forgot the exact number, but it is currently captained by Jebediah Carbon, which is a massive mistake because Jeb is known for breaking things. But at least he's going to enjoy his job. So this thing has Delta V capable of going to Jewel, Duna, Eve, basically anywhere that has an atmosphere or an atmospheric body I can get to. And I can also basically go anywhere. Yeah, excuse me, I just burped inside my mouth. Gross. Does that ever happen to you guys? You just get like a burp inside your mouth? Anyway. It just happened again. Jeez. I can't make it stop. Anyway. So yeah. I can basically go anywhere with the help of refueling vessels, which I plan on launching one of those into orbit, but I would like to build up the military capability of my fleet first before I plan on doing any of that. So yeah, that's the SS Forward Unto Glory. Let me show you the launch, actually, of that science vessel. It was actually a little bit too easy. And maybe I'll explain the history of Commando Co. a little bit, huh? The in-game history, yeah? You guys like that? Yeah? Yes, here we go, the SS Darwin. Again, with the terribly named crew. Let me educate you guys, let me educate you on my humble beginnings in Commando Co. So, I was playing Kerbal Space Program, and I got really bored. And so, not to say this is a boring game, this is a great game, but here's the thing, right? It gets to the point where it's like, okay, I land on a planet, but what's the point? And a lot of us in the Kerbal community like to imagine, there's, other companies doing things while we're doing things, and they're out there in the Kerbal system doing, who knows what, who knows where. And this is kind of how Macy Dean got started. He kind of, role-played, I guess, that there are other corporations. That's kind of what I've been doing. I've been designing missiles, I've been designing other weapons, and so I created Commando Co. And what is Commando Co? Well, in-game, my in-game lore, so to speak, because this isn't geeky or dorky at all, they are a weapons company. And they designed weapons specifically for vacuum. And recently, our shareholders, quote-unquote, a bunch of rabbis or shareholders or whatever, they got together and they decided, you know what, it's about time Commando Co. We have a lot of extra capital. Let's make a name for ourselves. And so we've been going out in the Kerbal system, and we did that Eve lander just to kind of see, just to kind of prove we could do it. And so yeah, now we're venturing out, and now we have a space station and we have a battleship. And I plan on launching much smaller ships, probably just, probably longer ranged, but way less armed, but probably pretty well armored as well. And anyway, that's the plan. That's the plan right now. So, yeah. It's going to be pretty sick. Right now, there is, however, a hostile force in the Kerbal system. Who could it be? Who could it be? On Duna, there is a communist. Yeah, a bunch of communists fled to Duna because it's called the Red Planet. And they just made like a hippie commune. And right now, what they'll do, they'll fly up to your ship, and they'll broadcast to you. They'll be like, "LOL, do you have means of production?" And they'll be like, "A lamau no," and then and then you die. It's tragic. And so we plan on completely, either bypassing them or eliminating them. And yeah, so that's the game plan. That's the game plan for this series right now. Oh man, look at that ship go. Have you guys been paying attention to the launch? It was incredibly easy. Most people, when they launch capital ships, they'll like rip apart in the atmosphere, and it'll take a few times to design a launcher to get it just right. And even then, it barely works. Like the Chatelet launcher, barely works. Barely works. Barely works. And I'm gonna have to launch another one of those Chatelet class battleships just to show you guys how hard it is. But yeah, this thing was a piece of cake. This thing was a piece of cake. It's like 2 stages. You'll notice there's a little bit inside that space station. There's like those gray fuel tanks. Those are gonna drop off eventually. Those are like drop tanks, so to speak. And once they're out of fuel, I just drop them in the middle of space or whatever. But those are gonna help us in going to Joule. Now this thing has a lot of Delta V. If you guys look at the top right in Kerbal Engineer, you can see the Delta V is like 4,000 something. And the engines, it has an incredible thrust-to-weight ratio of like 2, which is unheard of for an interplanetary spacecraft. And those engines are ridiculously efficient. I'm so happy I discovered those. I'll probably never use them on like a large-scale battleship because they become very inefficient when you start adding on a lot of weight, like weapons and armor, and crew compartments and docking ports and all that other crap. But just for a science vessel, which, I mean, all it is a satellite relay, a cockpit, and some fuel tanks, at least for this scientific vessel. Even though this isn't really a scientific vessel, this is meant for exploration, but, I mean, it works incredibly well for what I need it to do. So, yeah, this is just it, going into orbit, going into its parking orbit. It's going to be accelerating. And, yeah, and that's gonna be it. Now next episode, we're gonna actually like hurl this thing at the Julian system at max speed, and hopefully we don't disintegrate when we finally hit Joule. But there's probably gonna be a few episodes between when we launch this thing and actually make it to Joule. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this thing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Constructive criticism is appreciated. I know this mic is kind of a potato. Next paycheck, I'm gonna get a Blue Yeti. But yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'm probably gonna post this on Reddit because I want you guys to see this because this is really fun for me. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.